So when my husband and I first got married, a lot of people were like, oh, marriage is the best, like da 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 da, we've been married 37 years, it just keeps getting better, and all of the stuff. And I have to say, for us, the first year of marriage has been the hardest. Like, a lot of people will talk about the 8-month honeymoon stage and everything, but other people will talk about the first year being the hardest, and we're definitely the latter of those two couples. So I wanted to go through quickly different kind of meditate as I go through this, different things of the reflections of the past year, since we are celebrating our 1-year anniversary today, and just kind of see what comes up with the things I've enjoyed of the past year and things that have been really difficult. So here we go. Going to Mass together has been absolutely amazing. There were a few weeks ago that I went by myself and I just felt like a piece of me was missing. So having somebody that is fully in communion with the church and like accepting of all the teachings and willing to go to confession when it's needed, when we do miss Mass, that's really been amazing to be able to sit there and hold his hand and be able to grow together through Christ. Having someone hold me accountable, that's been, a good thing and a bad thing. They say that the purpose of marriage is to help your spouse get to heaven, and a part of that is holding each other accountable. Like, if I get held accountable if I want to stay in bed all day, he'll come home and be like, what'd you do today? And it's like, oh, binge watched this episode or this season or whatever, and so I'm held accountable to actually do things and study and read and play piano and all these different things that maybe I wouldn't otherwise do while being single. And speaking of somebody coming home, I lived alone for many years. I owned a house before my husband and I even met, and so learning to live with somebody and sharing a bedroom and a closet and all of these things has definitely been a little bit of a challenge, just with separating myself from how I like things decorated and like allowing him to come in and bring his stuff. He loves World War II, so there are all types of posters and artifacts and things that he just absolutely loves that I'm kind of having to be like, okay, like we can do this, we can make this work. Vacationing with somebody else is definitely way more fun. I know a lot of people probably vacation before being married, but yeah, being able, like right now we're in New York City, and like just being able to do that with somebody and not being on my own has been really fun. Having 2 incomes isn't bad. Oh yeah, seeing somebody every single day, and when they get really tired and they're grouchy, I tend to take things personally, so there are times I feel like he's upset at me, but he's not really, he's just tired. So another part of like growing in myself is like learning how to not take those types of things personally, so that's been probably good. And poor Alec, with me taking everything personally. Being committed to one person is a little difficult for me. I've always kind of either serial dated or totally not dated at all, but I think that having the one person that I am committed to, that's been like a growing thing there. So obviously we waited until we were married to consummate the marriage bed, and we're practicing NFP, so the whole thing of postponing having children because my husband was still in school, that was a little rough on our marriage, because when we got married I was like ready and raring to go, and now that we've been married for a year and a lot of those obstacles have been removed, that's finally like not an issue. So that one's kind of coming to a redemption point in our lives, so that's a good one. My husband is so patient and kind though. Like, he is just the best. He has so much patience for me. I tend to be a little out there and like hyper and all these different things, and he just really brings me down to earth and helps level me out and being like, it's okay, the world's not ending, what does this matter? And so he has been a true like solid person for me to be married to, so I am very thankful that he has stuck out this year with me, and like just that we're getting to the point that we are where we do kind of understand each other and know how to like interact when one of us is upset. So I think that's a lot of the stuff. I mean, if you're struggling through your first year of marriage, like, I mean, we did go see a marriage counselor for a little while and, like, just kind of tried to figure out, okay, how do we do this, Christian counselor, and just talking a lot about the redemptive story of this. Like, I mean, Alec and I waited, we did everything that was required. We're two baptized people, like paragraph 16, 17 of the catechism, talks about how the full, like, fruition of the new covenant in matrimony is applied when two baptized people come together. And so there's a grace within matrimony that comes forward, and it does have those redemptive properties, even while it feels like we're suffering. And just allowing that to take effect, like, we're gonna mess up, we're not perfect, but being open and honest with our spouse is really the biggest thing that I've found. I mean, my husband has known how I felt about everything, every step along the way, whether it was finding somebody else, like, attractive or, like, emotionally engaging, anything like that. Like, just being open and honest, I found for us, like, really helped the marriage and strengthened it. And, like, we just laid our foundation. Like, we only dated for 3 months and they're engaged for 6 months, and, like, we really, people would say we rushed into it, but really, like, the trust and, like, the peace that I have with, like, knowing that he's not going anywhere, he's solid, like, that this is something that I can truly rely on, like, that's what's really getting better. Like, when people say, oh, it just keeps getting better, like, I can see that with the peace of the trust and the love and the pieces that come alongside with that. So God bless you all in all of your relationships. I pray that you have a very happy New Year celebration, and also just blessings to come in this 2018 season. So God bless, and I'll see you again next week Sunday.